What pisses me off though now is that fuckboys are not even hot anymore.
Oh, the ugly ones. Yeah. There's a lot of ugly fuckboys.
Because beautiful women have been fucking ugly dudes for so long because we're like, oh, like, that's a guy I can like settle down with. Like, he's never going to hurt me or whatever. And we've like built up their confidence. And now we're in a generation where everyone thinks they're a 10. I was like, I loved Disney and I loved it so much that I was a Disney princess. Like, I was in love with love. Like, I loved it. And I always had crushes on people like growing up or whatever. And then life hits you. Reality hits you. If I love the person, I don't judge them for not being 100% where they want to be, because I wouldn't want him to judge me for not being 100% where I want to be.
I think if you're just prioritize money, just money, that's like a totally different energy than, just see somebody as like, okay, he's established, he's working, but if you just money, and that's like very shallow, then the relationship is going to be shallow.
It's this group that's like, don't date him, Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, I know that. Yes. Are you on it? You're on it.
I got blasted on it. And it's just because I woke up to like all these girls like sending me screenshots like, dude, you're on the fucking Facebook group. And I said what you said. I was like, what kind of fucking losers are on fucking Facebook to start with?
Well, apparently losers that you've dated.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans. And first of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been getting a ton of growth and engagement over the last few weeks. And we got to thank all you guys out there for that. Today, we got a couple special guests on the show. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself, name what you do, and your star sign, and we'll start with you, Inessa.
Sure. My name is Inessa Courtney. I'm an artist, and I'm a Virgo, Scorpio rising.
Interesting.
That is interesting. My name is Courtney Daniels. I am a stand-up comedian, and I am a Libra. So basically, I'm the best, because Libras are the best.
You know, it's interesting. Virgos are always like my best friends. Like my co-host is actually Virgo, who's not here right now. Libras are bad for my mental health.
Really?
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
I'm pretty sure my therapist said stay away from you guys.
Really? I love Libras. Libras are actually
we're the best.
You guys are fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. Yeah.
Yes.
But like dangerous,
We're just the best. Likable,
toxic,
creative,
fun,
toxic,
bad for my mental health,
indecisive.
Gonna cost me a lot of money in therapy.
All right, what's her name? Who hurt you?
I don't even get me started on that.
What's your sign?
I'm the best one.
Leo's.
That's my rising, yeah.
Oh, so what are you?
Smart, funny, attractive, tall, smart, funny, and attractive. Yeah, Pisces.
Yeah.
Very emotional.
Pisces.
No, but I don't identify with the
Pisces
emotional
are
side.
great.
I don't identify with the little crybaby side.
Yeah, Pisces is very emotional.
Pisces are emotional, yeah.
I always get toxic too. That's what girls
They
always
can
say.
be.
Yeah.
They can
But
be.
they're very like spiritual and very sensitive.
No.
No?
None of that bullshit.
Maybe that's your Leo rising.
No. So I got blasted in one of those Facebook groups. Do you guys know those Facebook groups?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you're really dating yourself. Facebook. Who's even using Facebook
No,
anymore?
that's what I said. So I woke up to like 17
I don't even know if I
text
still have the
messages.
app on my phone.
Yeah, and it's like it's this group that's like, don't date him, Los Angeles.
Oh,
God.
yes, I
You know
know
what I'm
that.
talking about?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Are you on it? You're on it.
I got blasted on it. And it's just because I woke up to like all these girls like sending me screenshots like, dude, you're on the fucking Facebook group. And I said what you said. I was like, what kind of fucking losers are on fucking Facebook to start with?
Well, apparently losers that you've dated.
Apparently, yeah. I gotta start increasing my fucking standards,
I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I love Pisces, but Pisces can be toxic a little bit.
So I used to be toxic. I'm a recovering fuckboy, yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm very shy and
Recovering
romantic.
fuckboy.
Yeah.
Recovering.
What has changed?
I mean, here's the thing. Even back in my fuckboy days, like I was always a professional fuckboy. You know what I mean?
Oh God.
Not like these amateur Gen Z fuckboys running around taking their shirtless
Professional fuckboy.
six-pack selfies at LA Fitness like a poor person. I was like if you're gonna get fucked over, at least get fucked over by someone who takes their shirtless selfies at Equinox like a fucking adult.
So you had
Now,
game.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like you have to have a little game.
Yeah, of course. If you want to be a professional one.
If you want to be a professional.
Of course.
But I would always be honest with girls. I would say, hey, I'm not looking for anything serious. I don't want a relationship. And then somehow they're like, oh, yeah, for sure. And then like a month later, They're like,
so the thing with women, or probably the women that you were experiencing that with, like,
yeah.
I'm sure you were honest. I'm sure you're like, hey, I don't want it to be like, it's casual, like fun or whatever. And the girl's like, yeah, for sure. Me too. But in the back of their head, they're like, no, he's going to change his mind. Like for me,
that's what it always is.
And it's probably that's what you experience every single time.
So it wasn't my fault.
No, the women just do that where they're like, I'm going to change him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the one that he like changes his ways for, even though you're literally saying, I do not want anything serious with you. And we're like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Most of the girls, if they're in their 20s, they still don't have the, maturity or the confidence to actually accept the fact that it's a fuckboy, so they still have a little bit of hope because we are more emotional as women. So for us, it's always like, oh, maybe he's going to change with me, So I think sometimes it's really hard to see the situation for what it is if you're not already, confident or mature enough, or you already had some kind of experience and you know what you want. I feel like if you're like in your early 20s, you still kind of figure out who you are, what you want, and then you get into this toxic relationships or hookups, and then, you're supposed to learn from it, so hopefully like in the foreseeing future, you actually, know what you want and who you are. So then you kind of spot those men. And you're like, oh, no, that's not for me.
What pisses me off, though, now is that fuckboys are not even hot anymore.
Oh, the ugly ones. Yeah. There's a lot of ugly fuckboys.
Because beautiful women have been fucking ugly dudes for so long because we're like, oh, like, that's a guy I can like settle down with, like he's never gonna hurt me or whatever. And we've like built up their confidence, and now we're in a generation where everyone thinks they're a 10.
Yeah.
So when you get ghosted by an ugly guy, you're like, what?
It hurts. Yeah.
It hits different.
But here it's a little different because if you're a guy, let's be honest, like the beginning of a relationship, you're pretty much looking at looks. Not me, I'm very shy and romantic, but like all the other guys out there,
of course.
Of course you're not.
Of course, yeah.
Very
yeah.
shy.
Yeah.
But for girls, it's like as a guy, like you have to have like 2 out of 3 between tall and good looking, funny and charismatic, or rich. And if you have 2 out of 3, you're good. Like if you're tall and attractive and rich, you don't have to be funny. Like you could be boring as fuck.
Do you know how many ugly guys I've fucked because they made me laugh?
I bet, yeah.
It's terrible.
No,
it's terrible.
And they're ugly too, probably, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a condition. It's called geronophilia.
Geronophilia?
It means you like ugly guys with good personalities, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. There's no cure, I guess. Which, you'll be fine, but like your bloodline will be fucked. like you're gonna get into the afterlife and your ancestors are gonna be like, what the fuck, Courtney? Like we could have D1 athletes, now we got these Oompa Loompa leprechauns running around. Yeah,
walking around.
But sometimes, both are very good looking, but the children are not so.
Well, sometimes 2 beautiful people can make an ugly kid, for sure.
Punnett, bottom right of the Punnett square, just fucking everything up.
It doesn't always mean, that it's guaranteed that your children are going to be.
The way that I look at it is that women learn to be attracted to the man that they love. Men learn to love the woman they're attracted to.
That was very deep.
Yeah, that was.
Wow, I'm surprised.
I know.
Most Libras
I have one
don't
vodka
have
soda.
that kind of mental capacity.
The depth. They're just like, yeah, we're here for a good time. No, but I always think that.
No,
guys are like, I'm attracted to this person, and then I'm gonna grow to love them. We're like, I love this person, the personality. I'm gonna grow the attraction.
Yeah. That's why, like, I tell people, like, if you're like a girl, right, and like people give you this advice about, oh, like, don't like text them back right away or blah, blah. Like, guys don't give a fuck.
They're
have to be hot.
They're literally just existing throughout their day. They're not like counting the hours of she didn't respond for 3 hours. Like they're not.
You guys give guys, like, every time I hear a girl and she's like, I was dating a guy, he was like a narcissist sociopath, as if like he has like a PhD in psychology and he just manipulating. I'm like,
they're not that smart. You're not that smart.
He's just an asshole. He's just an asshole. That's
guys are not
like,
that smart.
Yeah. Especially the little Gen Z ones running around.
Men are very simple, actually wired. But you can, go on their nerves. There are some some tactics, you know, to be remembered, or just
explain what are some of these tactics.
I mean, you can still, you know, not everything is so simple, you know. You have to make it a little bit interesting, like not even for him, for yourself, you know. You need to be, I don't know, maybe I speak from my perspective, but you know, if the whole, you know, the beginning is very, you know, interesting, flirtatious, you know, you're a little bit nervous. Is he thinking about me? If I'm thinking about him, if he's texting me right away, or is he like, you know, keeping me waiting? Or so you kind of like build up this kind of like a tease, you know. I think it belongs to it. Otherwise it's going to be like very boring if everybody would understand everything about each other, you know. So it's kind of like,
it's the chase a little bit. Yeah, the chase to like the end of the day is like what people like. They like that feeling.
Yeah. And I think also the attraction as well. I feel like there obviously some people are good looking, but you're not really attracted to them, you know. Maybe in the beginning you think you are. I mean, from female perspective, I think for a man, like, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it literally doesn't matter.
You know, for the beginning.
Yeah.
If it actually,
hey, don't lump
like,
all of us.
Yeah.
You know, but like men can just, you know, everything. I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
You know, but in the beginning, of course, not with every woman they can build something. You know, if they don't get along, they don't get along. You know, they're not on the same wavelength. They're not. And then sex is just it's not gonna work even for a man. You know, so I think, yeah, it is important, attraction, to understand, you know, to feel if you are actually, you know, attracted to this person or just the looks.
And so, are you more attracted more based on looks or personality?
I don't know. I think it has to be like a mixture, I guess. It's not like I don't have like a specific type, but if I kind of like remember who I dated, oh, maybe I do have a type, you know, I'm not aware, but I think there are certain qualities, you know, that I like, or I also dated like different types of people. And I think I also, you know, meant that, you know, I was going through different stages in life, you know, because I think you evolve as a person too. You know, when I was like really, really young, you know, I dated this kind of type of a man. And then, you know, in a few years, like it was a different one, you know? So I think it always changing. If you are changing, if you're not changing, then you're always going to date the same type.
Okay. So you like ugly guys, good personalities.
Okay, let's not say I like ugly guys. It just happens to be that they're not the most attractive.
What about height?
I mean,
my first love, like the guy I lost my virginity to, like I thought I was gonna marry him. I was, whatever. He was like a little shorter than me.
Really? Interesting.
But I loved him so much.
Did it bother you or no?
No.
It didn't bother you kissing down?
I'm not a shallow person. Okay.
I must admit, I think for me, the height is important.
Well, you're taller.
I'm tall. And I'm tall. I'm 5'8".
Yeah, you're pretty tall.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So like, I mean, I can date like a 5'10", probably. I mean, it depends, but I would prefer not to. I must say I'm so sorry for the short kings, but I just, you know, sometimes I would like to wear heels, you know, and don't want to think about it, you know? So
that's
I must
true.
say like height is a little
How tall are you?
6'1", 6'3" on Tinder. You know?
Guys actually always
lie. I don't use dating apps. I'm not a loser. But
loser. That's good.
I don't. I've never used dating apps.
Yeah. Everybody, Hinge is the classy one, motherfucker.
That's what they say. They say classy
are on Hinge on Tinder. It's the same. It's the same pool of dudes.
They say classy.
Yeah. And don't even get me started on Raya. Raya was relevant in like 2005. Now it's like it used to be actual celebrities.
Raya is now literally just anyone.
Raya's like any dude with like a 4-pack and like a fake Bitcoin company is on Raya now.
It is. It literally is that. Yeah.
I've never was on a dating app. I don't know. Just met people in person or like on Instagram. You know, like someone
the real dating app.
Slid on through my DMs. But yeah,
I have never gone out with anyone who's slid into my DMs because the only guys slide into my DMs are absolutely fucking disgusting.
What do they say?
Well, they're just like nasty, gross, weird guy. Like I've never opened one of my DMs to be like, oh wait, he's actually kind of cute. Like I'll message him back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've never been that girl that like actually gets like good, hot men in their DMs. I just get the weirdos.
For me, it was just I went on a date with a guy. We had like 30 mutual friends. So he was kind of like in the circle, you know, and that's how we, you know, connected. That was, but yeah, I would not go out with a guy who was just like, hi, baby.
I love you.
Hello, Habibi.
Hey,
Habibi.
Or hey, I was like, you have to come up with something more creative, you know?
Mm.
The guy at the gas station is way more creative, you know, with the greetings. Yeah, sometimes it's just like
The guy at the gas station. I remember I was at the gas station one time and I drive like a piece of shit Prius. Like it's not a nice car. It's not like I have like a vintage car that's like nice. And I was at the gas station and this guy comes over to me and he goes, oh, like what year is that? Like what model is that? Just so he could start talking to me. And I literally was like, it's an 05 Prius. Like, I don't know. You're
But
not
he needed
actually
something to say.
Exactly.
He
But
needed
I was
something
like,
to
you're
say.
asking about my car?
Yeah.
Could have said anything else.
Yeah. He
My car's a
panicked.
piece
He
of
panicked.
shit.
He came up
He
like
panicked. He's like,
I'm
oh, what,
and then last thing he's like, what kind of car do you have?
what year is that?
Yeah.
It's a Prius.
Yeah,
It was
that's
so
tough.
funny. I literally was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, it's interesting. So what is your, in terms of height, you said 5'10" is kind of the minimum.
yeah.
Because then with heels.
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
gonna
I'm tall, and you know, it's kind of like that's something that I automatically, you know, feel attracted to. I feel like, you know, I mean, height is. My dad was a basketball player, so you know,
Oh, okay.
you know, I come from that. And my mom was very short. My dad is very tall, so like I'm kind of in the middle. But yeah, for me, yeah, height is important, and if it's like too tall or not, you know, I don't want to, you know, be too shallow, but you know, someone who is taller than me for sure in heels.
Yeah, one of my friends, she's 5'11", and we're good friends. She always asks me about her guy problems and stuff like that. And she's like, always would date like NBA players, basketball players, because guys like 6'5" and above.
Yeah.
So one day she's like, oh, Zach, like I'm sick of these fuck boys, blah, blah, blah. I just want like a nice guy, good. I don't care about looks and height and all this bullshit. So she starts dating a guy who's like 5'8". So like with heels, she's like towering over him like Shrek. You know what I mean? It was like really bizarre. I saw them kiss once. It was like the dwarves trying to conquer the mountain in Lord of the Rings. Like it was like, they just didn't look good as a unit. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just, yeah.
But was she happy?
For like a couple weeks. And then,
A couple weeks.
and then we're going out one night. I'm like, oh, like, is Dave coming? Like I met him, like he's a cool guy, good looking, successful, good personality, confident, everything else. Right. And she's like, yeah, about that. I was like, what happened? So she was like, apparently he comes over one night and she had like a couple glasses of wine or something. And she said she opened the door and she gave him a hug. And she's like, Zach, I don't know why I did this, but I picked him up and I spun him around. And she's like, I watched his little legs like go to the side. And she was like, in that moment,
That's an ick.
I lost all respect
yeah.
for him.
Once you get icked out,
yeah,
Game
there's no
over.
recovering.
the ick.
There's
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
there's no recovering, honestly.
It kind of like sticks with you.
You can't unsee
and-
it. Like whatever, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
totally understand that. Yeah.
Do you guys have any weird icks?
when guys wear Apple Watches.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's lame.
I mean, I kind of agree. It's kind of like,
like
fucking
ugh.
nerd.
It's like ugh.
Yeah.
And he's like like it, I think it's I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know why. It's a weird one.
I have to think about it. I don't know. Probably there are a few, but I cannot really think
Uh-huh.
anything on top of my head.
Yeah, there's one of my friends, she's like, so she like went on a date with a guy. She goes back to his place and she's like in his bathroom and she's like, you know, snooping around. I guess girls do that. You guys like,
I've never done that. I've never
never snoop
snooped through
around.
someone's stuff. I've never looked through a guy's phone.
oh yeah, she was like Velma from Scooby-Doo. Like,
Oh my
she was like,
God.
yeah. And she finds, I couldn't believe she found this in his shower. He has this bottle. And on the bottle it said 3-in-1 shampoo conditioner.
Oh yeah, guys have
And I
that.
was like, 3-in-1?
guys literally
Like, okay,
have
shampoo,
the,
conditioner,
and body wash.
And
what
body wash,
fucking
oh my
put
God.
that shit in your dishwasher? Like
Mm-hmm.
fucking laundry detergent? Like, what do you use this shit for?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was an ick for her.
Yeah, she ended it after that. She was like, I can't do it
come
anymore.
The
on.
3-in-1.
It's-
That's
I mean,
3-in-1's tough. Like, it
That's-
just means you have no life skills.
that
You know what I
that
mean?
means I don't know. I feel like there was other things that she didn't like about him.
Probably.
Because that's not that bad.
exactly.
That's really
like,
not that
if
bad.
he would be like amazing.
There's already already something that she was not about.
Exactly. Yeah, that was probably
that's
something
possible.
else.
That's possible.
That was like she was looking for something
She was
else.
looking for something. Yeah. That's when you're looking for a reason to not be interested in someone.
Yeah, if you're not sure, then
an ick is like, you know, when guys are talking and they have like the white foam on the corners of their mouth.
Does that happen a lot?
Like when they have like a really dry mouth. But you've seen it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you can't unsee it.
That's true. Yeah.
You could be the hottest guy ever, but if you have like white spill in the corner of your mouth, it's not happening.
Interesting.
That's true.
Yeah, I have like trauma from not even that happened to me, but this girl was just telling me a story, and she's like on a date with a guy, and like the waiter walks past, and he's like, "Oh hey, can I get like another drink?" And the waiter like didn't hear him or something and just like walked right past. And she was like, he couldn't even get the waiter's attention. So now like anytime I'm at dinner, I'm like, hey, like I like say it super loud because I'm like, what if he walks by, he doesn't hear me, and then I look like a fucking simp.
Well, I don't know. That's like a weird thing. Sometimes, you know, you don't have to be so judgmental. It's okay. Somebody didn't hear you. Like, fine.
It is an ick though if a guy, let's say you're on a date with a guy, and he's rude to the server or like the wait staff.
I never understand when people say that, because I hear people say that all the time. I've never met somebody
like where they like talk down to them or think that like,
like where do you guys meet these like I don't think I've ever been so on a date and someone's like, hey, like what the fuck you guy, or
it's so cringe. When it happened to me, I literally was like, ugh, like sitting in my seat being like, this is so uncomfortable.
Really? I don't think it ever happened to me. So far, it was okay. But I know what you mean. It's kind of like embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. I'm like, I'm associated with this person right now.
Yeah, of course.
It's terrible. But that's why I stopped dating years ago.
You gave up?
I'm happier for it. I've been single now for 5 years.
No way.
I've been single for 3.
And like, I should have done it years ago. I should have done it sooner.
What happened?
So much happier. I have my peace. I have time to just do everything that I want to do. And I'm not giving all this like energy with a guy who like won't text me back. You know what I mean? It's like you focus on yourself, and the generation that we're in right now, it's like I was tired of like, I can't keep a guy's attention longer than like a couple days because we're in this society now where everyone thinks the grass is always greener. So like, you could go on a date, have an amazing date, hit it off with this girl, whatever, be like, that was awesome. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, what else is out there? And you don't give that connection a shot. And so I kind of like pulled myself out of that because I was like, I'm not going to compete with the 12 that you think you can get. You know what I mean? Because everyone thinks the grass is always greener, but they can't. They think that they can get this better thing and they can't, you know?
Did you have an experience, something happened, you were dating a guy, and
I think I've just had enough situationships where I'm like, I don't know. I don't really care to like give my time to this. I have very limited free time, so like I don't really have the time to give it to like go on dates with a guy who won't even text me back.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So I just stopped. But
have you heard of the 3 loves theory?
The 3 loves? No.
Yeah. So everybody has 3 like big loves in their life. So you have like your first love that you think it's going to last forever because you don't know any better.
Of course.
Then your second big love is like the toxic relationship that just like breaks you. And it's the one that teaches you all the lessons and helps you figure out like what you really genuinely want in a partner. And then your third big love is like your soulmate. That's the point where you know exactly what you want, you understand yourself, you've gone through the bad relationships so you could learn, so that when you meet your soulmate, you're like ready for it.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like that. I think it's like too general to say cannot apply to everyone. I think sometimes we have some profound connections. You know, it doesn't have to be like a relationship, but I do agree that you have some sort of profound soulmate or twin flame connection at one point in your life. I do agree, like the first 2 can be in reverse, you know, like a toxic first or like the first love, or, you know, like, you know, it can like switch up. But I think like in order to meet a soulmate, you also kind of have to like have a relationship with yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
because only then you can attract that person, because then you kind of like on the same level, you know who you are. If you don't know who you are, or you just like think you need somebody, you know,
Mhm.
you don't need anybody actually. You want somebody who just like kind of emphasizes who you are, you know,
Mhm.
like just elevates, you inspire each other, you know, or you know, like to bring like the better you out of you.
Mhm.
And you benefit each other too. But sometimes we like choose people because we think we need somebody, you know, like for
Mhm.
whatever reason. And this is wrong, because we kind of like fall in love with an idea of somebody, you know, not the true person. It's really hard to, you know, find that person, but also it's actually not hard, because you need to love them for who they are,
Mhm.
and they have to love you for who you are. And you need to love yourself for who you are, but you need to do that work yourself first,
Mhm.
you know. And then it's kind of like, if you're like on that journey, then you realize like, you know what, I don't need to like, I don't need like a relationship right now. I would love to have one, would be ready, but I'm also okay by myself, you know.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think me
Mhm.
too. Yeah.
So did you go through all three already?
I would say I went through like 2.5. Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah. Okay. No, 2.5. Yeah.
What was the toxic one like?
Well,
How did you guys first meet? How did that go down?
I mean, I wouldn't say like, I feel like my first relationship was like a very long one, like 7 years.
Okay.
And
When you guys met in high school?
I was like out of high school. Yeah, like he was a little older, you know, but in that relationship I kind of like grew into a woman, you know, and we've done a lot of things together artistically, so we kind of like, you know, helped each other out as well in that area. But then at the end it was just like, it was just bad. But he was not a bad person. It's just how
But what happened?
it's just how we
Was
just
not the right fit. It wasn't-
affected
yeah.
each other, you know. And we're still really good friends, but it was just so bad, you know. Like we were just fighting. It was like, you know, ADHD, insomnia, and then like infected me if you live with this person as well, you know. So it's like, you know, how he affected me and how I affected him probably. But we're still good friends. He's like a really good person, but it's just like not, you know, not the right person to be with forever, or for a longer period of time, you know. And the second one, I don't know, it might have been toxic, but it was also like we were like really in love, but it was just not, at the end of the day, it was like not the right fit. But
was there something that attracted you
yeah,
to
it was like
the danger, the
yeah, that was probably
emotions?
Yeah, it was kind of toxic. Actually, yeah, it was. I would say it was toxic. And then when we were together, the first year was great. The second one was good, but we actually, you know, broke up because of like differences. You know, he was I'm an artist, he's not, so he kind of like didn't really understood, you know, my essence. And there were some other factors as well, but you know, but the beginning was a little bit like toxic and great and passionate, and I think that's what I like really liked. And yeah, I mean, that's true, like you have to have that kind of connection to understand as well certain things about yourself, you know. I think it's good to have these experiences, because you need to learn things about yourself, and you're supposed to like evolve from it, you know. You have to have this, otherwise like you don't know, you won't learn about anything, you know.
Do you think things happen for a reason?
Well, yes, and the reason is you, so it's all up to you.
Interesting.
You know, I think it's just how you think, like how you operate, like your think and what you think you like, and you know, who you think you are as well. I think that's who you also can attract, you know. I do. And like sometimes you attract a lesson. Sometimes you attract a warning, like, oh, I think I've been here before. Oh no, I'm not gonna go there again. You know. But sometimes it's like, but I want to. Oh no, you know. So it's like something, you know. Yeah, but I think you can still have a great connection, you know, without like dating sometimes, you know. If sometimes like, you know, you meet somebody, you don't live in the same city, and you know, like both of you are not,
you know the deal,
keen, like, into relationships. I think it's like a very mature, you have to be very mature, for that, especially as a woman, because we still like want them to want us after a few times, I think that's natural, but but sometimes it's like very, beautiful to have a connection like that as well, and then you remember, I had that experience with that person when we were there, and he gave me something like some sort of excitement or inspiration, and we were just like, for that moment, it was perfect, but he's not like the future, boyfriend or a husband material, but for that moment, it was great,
Yeah, I never understood the argument when people say, oh, well, why are you dating if you're not going to like date to marry or something like that? And I'm like, okay, let's say you like have this relationship. It's fun. It's exciting. You have all this beautiful connection with somebody. And then like a couple months later, it ends. But it's like, okay, but you still got to have like this amazing experience. It's like, imagine you like travel and you go to Europe for like 3 months and you're like, have this amazing trip and like all these new experiences. But you don't come back and say, oh man, like I wish I wouldn't have gone to Europe because now I'm back in my normal life. It's like, you got to have this amazing time. And now you go back to how your life was exactly before that.
People always think that when you meet people or have an experience with people, that those people are supposed to be there like forever.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can just have fleeting moments with people and like have an experience and move on. But some people like want to hold on to that so much. And it's like, doesn't necessarily have to be that. You can have the moment, have the thing, learn, grow, whatever, and then you move on. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Not everyone is supposed to stay forever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. And I think that's also like, we sometimes think, I really like him. Maybe he can be like my future boyfriend. And this is already like overthinking, I feel like if you really meet like a soulmate, there's some kind of like different feeling.
It's definitely a different feeling where you're not confused. It's not like pulling teeth.
Exactly.
It's not like all those things. When it's the right person, it's like, it's just, it makes sense.
It makes sense. And
it's easy.
Have you guys met your soulmates? Do you think?
I don't know. No, not yet. Because I haven't, even in relationships, I realized even guys that were like my actual boyfriend, I was never 100% about that person. Even as like my boyfriend, and I love this person, whatever. I've been with them for 4 years or whatever. There was always something missing. I've never had that 100% for sure yes feeling about someone where I'm like, I want to show them off to everyone, and I've never felt that before. And so I think when I feel that will be my person. Where I'm like 100% sure about you. I don't know.
And you can have a few soulmates as well.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of soulmates.
A lot of soulmates.
I'm trying to find all of them.
He's like my roster right now.
They're all
soulmates. Yeah,
he's a Pisces.
Yeah.
Pisces
I'm romantic.
So many soulmates.
I have to find all. I wouldn't want to. I think it'd be unfair of me to like not give one of my soulmates a shot. I mean, that's just like, that would just be very rude. You know what I mean?
Wow.
How many girls are currently on the roster?
0. What do you mean? I'm looking for my soulmate. I told you that. Already.
No, I'm calling BS so hard. So hard.
I mean, you can have a few soulmates. I mean, you can have soulmates as friends as well. As if you.
No, I think I
have
met
like
my
a soul
soulmate
family.
Already.
That's great.
I fucked it up.
Do you guys actually think that there's like actual soulmates?
Yes, I do.
I don't
like
believe
actual
on like a metaphysical
level where there's. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, there's
what?
Billions of people in the world.
What if they like live in like China and I like never go to China?
But that's what I'm saying.
But that's not how it operates. Like your whole life is supposed to be like you were born into like who you are into this family. So predestined a little bit.
Oh, you're talking about like manifestation and all that stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do believe in that, because a soulmate means that you are, you were somehow your souls were connected in the past lives before. So you might have been just friends or like, and that's why you feel so like such a pool.
That's that's if you believe in past lives.
Yeah.
And if you believe in all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But how would you define soulmate if you don't believe in soul reincarnation?
I don't know if soulmates is like a real thing.
I feel like you're like, I don't believe in love. I don't believe in magic. Like, I don't believe in nothing. Like,
Yeah,
we're just
fuck
molecules floating around the universe and fuck dudes.
We're just trying to get by day by day, living life.
That's
no,
funny.
I definitely believe in it. Like, I used to be a huge romantic, and I used to believe in all that kind of stuff.
What happened to you?
But Libras are like.
I was
amazing.
like,
What
I
happened?
was like, I loved Disney, and I loved it so much that I was a Disney princess. Like, I was in love with love. Like, I loved it, and I always had crushes on people, like growing up or whatever. And then life hits you, reality hits you.
Well, I don't think
pretty much what it is.
you should give up on it. Like,
I'm not
because
giving
I
up
know-
on it, but it'll come.
understand.
It'll come.
So my first girlfriend, back in high school, I was like a huge nerd, huge loser, got made fun of all. My dad was a gym teacher, so we didn't have money. And all the little kids with their they all had the same shirt on. It was like the polo with the little horse. and the
Yeah.
guy.
the photos.
I still fucking hate those shirts to this day.
yeah,
So
I
they
hate
all
them.
make
Super
fun
preppy,
of us.
very preppy.
Yeah, it was like super annoying. But I was like desperate to get a girlfriend because I was like, oh, I just want to have a girl. We could like hang out. It'd be so fun. I don't have to be lonely all the time. So my junior year, this girl, I heard through my friend that she wanted me to ask her to prom. So I was like pumped. I was like, finally, I'm going to like, don't fuck this up, Zach. I was kind of like that. So like I went to her locker after class and it was so cringe. It was like, I was literally like shaking and I was like, hey, do you want to go to prom with me? And she was like, yeah, of course. And then I like panicked. I was like, okay, bye. And like ran away like a little nerd, right?
Oh my God.
Oh.
But we started dating and I was fucking pumped. It was like, it was like the first time in my life I remember feeling like truly just happy. You know what I mean? Just I had somebody.
I love that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I was just
You're
like,
just like
so
at peace. Yeah.
and I was such a fucking simp. I was the biggest
I believe it.
loser. Like, this is going to make you cringe.
it. I can see it.
I literally, every Monday morning, I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and I'd drive to the Walmart between our houses and I would get some flowers and a package of the
bless
purple
you.
Skittles, like the wild berry flavors. Those are her favorite Skittles.
Oh,
And
the
I would
fact
write
that
a
you like
little
still
note.
remember these little details is cute.
It's not going to be cute for long. Just wait.
what did you do?
And so I would leave it on her doorstep and she'd be like surprised and like, oh my God, you got me like Skittles or whatever. So when college happened, she went to like the school a lot of my friends went to from high school. And my family couldn't afford it because it was like a private school. So I went to UW Oshkosh, which was like in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin. But I would still like
Oshkosh, bitty bitty of Oshkosh.
Oshkosh, yeah, Oshkosh.
Oshkosh.
Yeah, Oshkosh Bagosh. I know.
Oshkosh.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. That's what it's known for,
Bitty
unfortunately.
bitty babash.
And I would call her every day. I was still pumped. I was like, hey, how's your day going? Blah, blah, blah.
In college.
In college.
Okay.
And there's always this guy that she would talk about.
Oh.
And she was like,
the other guy.
I hate this guy. He's such an asshole. He's like dating two of my friends at the same time behind their back. They didn't even know. Like, and I'm like, yeah, fuck this guy. We hate this guy. We're on the same team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks later, I get a call from this guy in my high school that I like barely talked to. And I was like, yo, what's up? And he's like, yo, like, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I feel like I should.
Ooh.
But we're at a party last night and I saw Julie go into one of the rooms with like this guy.
That bitch.
And he's like, yeah, everybody's saying they hooked up. I was like, what guy? And it was the fucking asshole guy.
Yeah.
So
the
I
bad
start
boy.
laughing.
The bad boy.
I'm on the phone.
Yeah,
I'm like,
like-
dying laughing. I'm like, yo, she hates this guy. She thinks he's an ass.
Simp.
She would never hook
Simp.
Exactly.
Oh
But the
my
weird
God.
thing was like, in the back of my mind, I had this like nervous feeling. Even though like, I was like, no, she would never do that, blah, blah, blah. But I couldn't shake it. So the next day I like drove the 3 hours to her college and I like knocked on her door. And, you know, I expected her to like open
Dorm
the door.
or apartment?
Dorm.
Okay.
And I expected her to like open the door and like,
He answered the door.
no,
Oh.
no, it's not that dramatic.
I was expecting that. I was just like,
No,
He's like,
I,
yeah?
I thought she was going to be all excited. Like, oh my God, you surprised me. Like,
Yeah,
big
she's
smile.
already checked out.
Yeah, she opened the door. She's like, what are you doing here?
Not even happy that you surprised her.
And I was like, yo, so like, yeah, these people are like starting this rumor about you. I'm like, babe, don't worry. I don't believe them. I know they're like full of shit. And she looked at me and she was like,
Were you still a virgin at this point?
yeah.
So that's, yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it's actually true.
Ooh.
And that, she just admitted it. And like
wow.
that moment,
Ooh.
broke you.
I was like, I will never be this fucking loser ever again in my life. And that was the moment that I was like, I still remember the last thing I ever said to her. I was like, at this point, I was like bawling my eyes out. And she was just like nonchalant, like so.
Already checked out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was like, Julie, I would do anything to make you happy. I just want to know why. And she literally went like this. She like shrugged her shoulders and she goes, I just got bored. And that fucking moment, I was like, I will never be this fucking loser again.
You're like, I'm never going to be boring ever again in my
How old
entire
are
life.
you? How old
Literally,
were
that's
you?
what I said. I was, 19. I was 19.
Okay, so then your
And
fuck
that
boy,
moment, I started waking up
and
6
the
a.m.
fuck boy was born.
Literally, it was like from the fucking ashes, the
literally.
phoenix was born. Yeah. And I was a fuckboy for like, I'm kind of joking about the recovering fuckboy thing, but I kind of am. Like, I was like really toxic for like a good like 5 or 6 years after that. And then, you know, eventually you kind of get over that phase and you're kind of more normal again. But
Yeah, I think you still have these qualities though. These are good qualities. Like, you know, you're very like the way, you know, attentive, and you wanted to, you know, support your girlfriend. So I think these are the qualities you actually naturally have. You know, you can just mask them, or you can have like a defense mechanism where you just like, you know, because you were hurt, you know. But actually when you you know, hopefully like evolve and you are actually with a girl in a serious relationship, I think you would, you know, show these qualities again and just in a different light. So these are good qualities. You know, this story actually showed me that you have these, you know,
You have the capacity for love.
you know, for love, you
Cool.
know, because
Capacity.
some people
course.
just don't.
When was your last like serious relationship?
that was the soulmate one.
The high school one?
Mm-mm. No, that wasn't my soulmate.
Oh,
that was like
oh.
my fucking
Yeah,
devil mate.
that was like-
The
yeah,
demon- the demon from hell, the
demon
spawn,
mate.
demon spawn.
Mm-hmm.
So my last serious one, it was this girl who had
Did you cheat?
no, worse, maybe not worse.
What's it?
I bought her a trip to Europe and she broke up with me.
Oh.
Okay, it's a lot. Okay,
Hold
here's what
on.
happened.
What'd you do?
So you have to understand, like, she was the most like legitimate, like beautiful soul I've ever met in my life. Like literally our first date, we went to catch, and on the way like back out to the valet, there's like this homeless dude like standing there. So I like walk, you know, in front of her and the homeless dude, like make sure nothing happens. And she walks like right past me and she talks to this homeless guy for like 20 minutes.
20
And
minutes?
She pulls out this like, I'm going to
20
get to that
minutes?
point later. Yeah, I'm going to get to that
What?
point later.
I mean, say hi and how are you, but 20 minutes is crazy.
And she pulls out this like stack of cards from her purse.
Tarot
Tarot
cards?
No,
And crystal
they
ball?
were
Yeah, what's the other?
no. They were literally like Ralph's gift cards, like grocery store gift cards, and she just kept them in her purse for like homeless people to like
Oh,
give them to
bless
homeless
her.
people. And it was like she was the most like caring person I've ever met in her life. So then what happened so basically she'd always wanted to go to Europe. She was a nurse, but like she did like some modeling on the side, so she wanted to do like Milan and Paris and all these kinds of things. So for her birthday, I like surprised her with this trip to Europe. And I was like,
How long were you guys together at this point?
oh, probably a year and a half or something.
Okay.
Okay.
But the thing was, she lived with her mom. Or I should say her mom lived with her, and she would like take care of her mom because she was a nurse. And her mom was like a huge bitch to her. Like her mom was always like talking down to her and like being really rude. And in my head, I'm like, your daughter is like sacrificing her. Like she could have had her own place easily. Like she could afford it and everything. And she's like staying with her mom to like take care of her. So when I got her to the trip to Europe, she like looks at me and she's like tearing up a little bit. And she's like, Zach, like, thank you so much. But she's like, but like, I can't leave my mom. And then I told her like,
Even just for a trip?
yeah. So I told her, I was like, don't worry about that. I found this website. There's like these professional nurses. They come in home. They'll like help your mom with whatever she needs. Like I already took care of it. And she just looks at me. She's like, Zach, you don't understand. She's like, that's my mom. And we got in this big argument about, you know, setting boundaries and how you can't let your mom control your life and all these things. And so at the end of the day, I like already booked this Europe trip. So I just like went with one of my guy friends. And she broke up with me. And the truth is,
While you were gone or when you came back?
like when we were about to go, we like had a big conversation. And the truth is, if you want somebody with that level of kindness, the truth is it's gonna come with a level of inconvenience. Like you can't have one without the other.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think there's a little bit of there's a deeper subject in the situation. I think her mom is very manipulative, so she has some sort of like a toxic relationship with her mom. Although she loves her, but I think her mom, was just kind of like cock blocking her because it's true because she didn't want her. She wanted her for herself.
Yeah,
and that's something like some people do.
Some parents
and
do
then
that,
they make she probably made her feel guilty about everything. So she wanted to go, but the level of guilt and responsibility, she's probably still a good girl, but that she needs to do some therapy, and she needs to like sort this out with her mom, because at the end of the day she has a life too. And if her mom would be a great mother, she would
her mom
say,
loves her, she would let her live her life as well,
because that's what you're supposed to do. Your children are not your nurses. It's not, they will always be there for you, but it's not how it's supposed to work. But
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I see what you're saying, but I also do think that, like, if you have that level of kindness, like, it's just like part of the nature of that kind of relationship that you have to deal with. And I don't know.
I think it comes down to priorities as well. Sometimes. That was her priority, and that didn't like really fit.
Or maybe it was a combination of like you guys weren't each other's person, because if you were, maybe she would have went to Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like make that to make that priority, or make that like sacrifice.
I think she just has to sort this out with her mom, and her mom needs, they need to do some therapy together or something. Yeah, because
is she American?
She's from Colombia.
Okay.
See,
that's why I was like, there's some. I feel like it's
Wait,
because Latinos like
there's
like a different because Latinos.
Yeah, I heard that.
I went to the accent right away.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, you're Latina?
I'm part. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What country?
But Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm half Mexican, and so like the Hispanic.
Yeah.
Mothers, and that's why I was like, there's no way she's American. I just felt the vibe of.
Yeah, because it's like
no, I almost never end up dating white girls. I don't know what it is.
You like the spice.
And like Latina girls are always good kissers, you know what I mean?
Spicy.
Like white girls, sometimes it feels like you're kissing a fax machine,
Vanilla.
like,
fax machine.
Latina
again,
girls
dating
are like,
yourself
at
again.
least they're always like good kissers. There's nothing else,
Wait, a fax machine.
That's interesting.
Are you guys too young to understand that reference?
No, not at all.
No, I know,
but I'm just trying to
heard
understand what does that mean?
It's not literal, Jesus Christ.
No, I know.
I'm very literal.
But it's cool. I'm gonna steal that from you.
No, but I do think like it is hard typically for me dating American girls, just because a lot of American girls were born here, and probably guys too, but obviously I don't date guys, but it's like there's this sense of just insane level of entitlement where it's kind of like,
especially if you're in LA.
And I'm the type, like, I'm very happy filling the masculine role. I'll fucking hold the door, I'll pay for everything, we go on a trip, I'm not, hey, send me the Venmo for the Airbnb that we got. Like, I'm a man,
Yeah.
But then, like, at the same time, I expect the girl that I'm with to not to be, I'm a boss ass bitch and I run shit, but also pay for all my shit. You know what I mean? And in America, a lot of times you find that girls want both.
It's like the feminine energy. You still want a little bit, like, I understand what you mean. Yeah.
And I think new guys are the same way, where they watch 3 Andrew Tate videos and they're like, I am the alpha.
Yeah, but they're actually not at all, because when it comes to the real shit, they're just like not masculine at all.
And if a girl gives like a smidge of alpha energy, they're like so threatened by it. So they're not actually alpha.
And it's like, it's a very like general definition. You think like alpha, so it's just like dominant. It's like sometimes it's just like a powerful energy, but it doesn't have to be like domineering energy. Some people have powerful energy, but they can still be feminine. You know what I mean? Like your presence can be powerful, like what you do in life can be powerful, but they can still be feminine. Same thing with masculine men. Like they can be practically so masculine, but they can also have like a soft side. But it still considers like he takes care of stuff. So that's very like masculine, because like I've read this amazing book. Please don't ask me which one, but I forgot. It was years ago. But they said like a man practices and a woman teaches, and that's like the definition of masculine, feminine, because we're like so internal, and men are just like very action driven, you know, they're like they need to practice, you know. So, and we're more internal, so we process everything, and we're here to teach, or, you know, because it's how we operate, you know. And I think that gets just lost in translation, and people just redefine the masculine and the feminine like over and over again, and then we just like complete lose ourselves in this world right now, you know, because we just don't know who, like, you know, sometimes we have to act like, you know, like men because it's just like, what else can you do? What else can you do? I don't want to, but I have to, you know. You know, it's just like, oof. So I think it also has to do something with like culture and mentality and our generation. So it like all the influence, you know, in the media. Yeah.
Well, the problem is every movie nowadays, it's like think like the typical like teenage movie where it's like the football quarterback who's like super masculine is always like this like unbelievable asshole who just like, you know, pushes the wheelchair kid down the stairs and like shoves kids in lockers.
Yeah.
And then the little nerd on his little scooter with his helmet, and he's so emotional and sensitive. And then like at the end of the movie, like the girl like breaks up with the football player and like goes with the nerd.
Yeah.
And all these guys are just being trained to like, oh yeah, like I just have to be like super sad and sensitive all the time. Like girls will like me. And it's like literally teaching guys the opposite of like what girls actually like.
No, I agree. I feel like the whole, like all the Disney films too, like if you actually really like, you know, now think about what they mean, it's actually kind of weird because like, for example, Beauty and the Beast, you know, she just loved him for who he was, but he locked her in the room.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like abusive, you know.
He was rich.
Exactly.
Stockholm syndrome.
Money.
Exactly.
Money.
That's exactly what it was. Like actually, like when you think about it, and Cinderella, I feel like he didn't even remember her, like, but he remembered the shoe like a foot fetish or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
But he couldn't like recognize her if he saw her again.
I know. It's like, you don't remember? Okay.
Remember my face?
Boy, you know?
Yeah.
It's
But
like,
look, his competition were these fucking dwarves, these short dudes. She's not going to date fucking dwarves.
yeah,
He had no competition. You know what I mean?
that's right. Like actually, when you think about it now, and you know, she's like, we were like raised on this.
Strange.
You
It is
know?
strange.
What do you think about money? Is money important in terms of like a guy you're dating at all?
I think money is important to men, to the guy. So it actually affects him. So how he, like, for him, it's important, and this is how he's gonna like act with you. So he will still be with you, but he would maybe project it on some sort of level, you know, like if he's not confident enough. So I feel like money is an important just energy in our lives. Like we would do nothing without it, right? Like it's impossible to live without money. But in a film where Marilyn Monroe said, like a very old film, is money for a guy is like for a girl being pretty.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and that makes sense. It's like us women, we're actually, if we love you, like we will go through just like we will ride or die.
Yeah, you live in a box.
Exactly. But it's almost like for a guy, it's important, you know.
Definitely.
You know how he would,
like he feels like a man if he
he would be as a boyfriend, you know. And yeah, sometimes it's just like I mean, money is important. I think more important, like what he's doing, you know, in life, because I think
like ambition.
Also, yeah,
that's definitely like
that's
my number one
trap
thing. I love ambition,
but it's not like even ambition. It has to kind of fit with your ambitions. You know, he can be ambitious in a totally different direction that doesn't really fit with mine. Like, and it's not my person. Do you know what I mean?
The problem with ambition is like, okay, have you ever heard of this thing called HelloFresh?
Yeah.
It's like they deliver like meals to your door.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know how to cook. I just fucking Uber Eats and whatever. So I got this HelloFresh.
You know how to cook at all? Nothing?
I mean, like, not real. Like I can like make a steak, but that you just fucking flip it over, put salt on it. You know what I mean? I can't like cook. So I was like, let me get this HelloFresh thing. I got the 20 meal pack because I'm like, okay, it's better just to get the bulk. And it comes in, I open up the first package and I was like, oh shit, they scammed me. I was like, it's just ingredients in here. Like it's not even like cooked.
Yeah.
And so I opened the second one, same thing, it's just ingredients. And then like I look up the website and they're like, oh no, you have to cook the food. I'm like, why did I pay somebody for my meals if I have to do all the work anyway? Like the point of paying for it is so like it's already done, right? And so that's why I don't understand why girls date for ambition, because like there's guys who are already done, like medium rare steak, mashed potatoes,
Right.
like you know exactly what you're getting, versus like a guy who's like, oh, maybe his Bitcoin app and his multi-level marketing scheme will work out and he'll be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, and he's full of shit.
And the older you get, you want already an established person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about like super rich, but you want somebody who has like
Has his shit together.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like it's also you feel even like better about yourself.
If I love the person, I don't judge them for not being 100% where they want to be, because I wouldn't want him to judge me for not being 100% where I want to be. Like I'm still a work in progress. And so I think I don't judge you if you're not already the medium rare steak that's like ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I can like be there with you together, because I don't want a guy to be like, I can't be with you because you're not 100% to the top of your career and everything is perfect and you're not going to be with me until it's like there. I think that's why I don't judge as much. But if you have ambition, you're working on something, there's something there. There's a difference between like people who have like real ambition and people who are like head in the clouds.
Yeah.
That stuff is going to happen.
But
There's a difference, and you can tell what type of people those are. Like
but he would still have some money, you know?
Yes,
like, and
yes.
During like that's
because
what
that's
it is.
attractive
Yeah.
if like you're competent.
Exactly.
If you're a competent person, you know, good with your money, whatever, but you don't have to be a multi-millionaire for me right now in this moment for me to be with you.
Yeah, but you want to have somebody who's like has a little bit of, you know, is not like, you know, cannot just like afford a dinner with you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You want somebody who can just, you know, invite you to a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or something like that.
Like
you know?
I get it if like a guy's like 21, he's like getting out of
mean-
college and he like hasn't had time. But to me, like if a guy's like over 30 and he still hasn't made it, I'm a little like,
Yeah,
wait,
But you mean
what
like
happened the
made
last
it, like
10 years?
like completely made it by
Well,
30?
made it at least like somewhat, like he has
Yeah.
some traction.
Yeah,
like,
of
yeah,
course,
so
of
he's
course.
already,
Yes,
like-
yes, yes. We're not saying we're gonna date a bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
that's what we're saying. Like, yeah,
not a
you
bomb.
need to, and I'm telling you, like, the older you get, like, you realize, okay, I think that's more important, because it's, you know, you see that like different values in life and how the economy is going, you know, it's crazy, you know. And if you, you know, with somebody, and like going back to this whole masculine and feminine, I feel like a man would just feel even better about himself if he can just like pay for dinner, you know, or like invite you somewhere.
I mean,
And,
yeah.
you know, it's just, especially in the city.
Mhm.
I want to have that security with my person that if I lost everything, he would still want to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think it's different for girls and guys too. Like, I don't think there's like like if you're a girl and you're not successful, I don't think that's like a responsibility. Like, it's an added bonus if
agree
your
with
girls
you.
is also successful,
with
but
you.
it's not like necessary. Whereas a guy, like, I feel like
You
you
guys
kinda need
more.
that.
You guys have a lot more pressure.
Of course.
Yeah.
To provide,
Yeah,
to provide.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's why it's like,
Mhm.
and yeah, because things can happen. Like you can have like a very successful career, and God forbid something happens, you can lose anyone. Of course, a woman's gonna be with you, the one who
Mhm.
was by your side for 10 years.
Mhm.
You know, that's like women, like most of the time. You know, but I think if you're just prioritize money, just money, that's like a totally different energy than, you know, just see somebody as like, okay, he's established, he's working, you know. But if you just money, and that's like very shallow, then the relationship is going to be shallow. But money is an important aspect for a relationship.
Mhm.
Very important, of course. It's like one of the, you know, money, sex, you know, like physical attraction, compatibility, emotional compatibility, conversation, you know. It's just like like all these, and money, like it belongs to it too, of course, you know.
Mhm.
It just like kind of how the world is operating as well, and we're, you know, I think so.
No, I agree. So I'm from Wisconsin originally,
Mhm.
and people always say, "Oh, is LA fake?" You know what I mean? And I thought about it one time, and I was like, people in LA are fake about what they are. Like people will say, "Oh, I'm like the owner of this club," and I'm like, "Really? Then why are you like asking me for a drink at my table instead of just taking one?" You know what I mean?
There is
Like,
that vibe though, where some people are like, "Yeah, I own this, this, and this,
Yeah,
this, and this," and then their iPhone's like cracked, and they have like an iPhone. Like I'm like, wait,
or an Android.
or
they have,
I'm like, I'm very
Android,
confused.
like a Samsung Galaxy
I'm so
S4.
confused sometimes where I'm like, do you own all these places?
Yeah, no, usually it's, you know how many times I've met either the owner of the club or Drake's manager. That's the old.
Yeah, oh my
some
God, Drake's
girl,
manager.
Like, oh my God, like I met Drake's manager.
That's
I'm
right.
like, I did one Google search. Like,
Yeah,
that's not Drake's manager.
That's not Drake's manager.
It's just some like
Yeah.
fucking bum who like, how do you guys fall for this? You know what I mean? Like every time in my head, it's like crazy to me. But I will say people in LA are at least honest about what they want. Whereas like people in Wisconsin are like, yeah, no, you shouldn't want money. It's not important. You shouldn't want fame or success or popularity. And it's like, yeah, we all want those things. Like, and money is important. Money is like extremely important, actually. It's not necessarily the number one important thing, but it's actually very important.
Yeah, it belongs to life, and I think it's like you have to have a healthy relationship with money. If you prioritize money above everything, then you're not going to be happy because you don't know your purpose in life. You think, oh, I just have to make money. You have to make money with what you love doing, or if you know who you are. Then of course it's like you value yourself. Yes, I want to be paid for my efforts, and yes, I deserve to be paid a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with thinking about it. It's almost like it's your self-value. So it's like, yeah, of course I want to, let's say like I want to be an architect, like I want to design big houses because I believe I can do it. Yes, and I want to be paid for my work. That's like, it's very fair, and like LA is I think like big cities in general, like LA, New York, or London, so people move to all these cities to become something because they all have goals and are very driven. And LA is like entertainment city, right? So we like all came here because that's the city for artists and everything like behind the scenes of entertainment. I think I have a theory about this whole fakeness in LA. So I think it's just, so the first year everyone is like so ambitious, and then just realize how like tough it is here. And then you're also surrounded by like a lot of like rich people or successful people. So when you go networking and you feel like shit because you haven't like really, achieved anything yet. So then you want to fit in, and somebody asks you, so what did you do? How many, are you SAG-AFTRA? Did you, have you shot anything this year? And then you feel like, and then people start pretending, because they just like feel like they don't fit in. And then
it's crazy because it
start lying,
kind of works-ish. Like I've seen guys just completely lie about stuff, and I'm like, that's so odd. Like you ask like two questions and it's like, but I watch people just believe them. And just eat it up.
Eat it up.
Oh,
Eat
they're
it
the
up.
director
Eat
of
it
this
up.
like movie, and like, I'm like, wait, you believe this? Like, are you? Do you have two brain cells rattling around in your skull? Like,
because they're head in
bizarre.
the clouds. They're head in the clouds of like.
Yeah, and I think
this is my big breaker. This person's gonna help me and whatever.
It's just like
I'm from here, so like I guess I've never like fallen for those things like this, but I see it happen all the time, right? Because people are like, this is my big moment, this is the person that's going to change my life, and he's absolutely is not that person at all. But people are like, that's it.
No, absolutely. And even like people with some sort of success, they still like dramatize like what they're doing. Like even like some of the people that I know, like when I hear them talking, I'm like, it's not as
it's
big.
like an exaggerated version of what's actually happening.
I always wonder like why people do that, it's like so hard to be themselves, it's like you really like, this city is great for opportunities, but it's like you really have to like master authenticity here, because that will last. Like when you get successful, your career is gonna last. If you're not authentic, it's not gonna end well for you, like psychologically.
Yeah.
Like maybe money wise would be great, but at the end of the day, you want to have a balance. You want to just be who you are and do what you love and make money with it. I mean, that's all we want, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're about out of time. We have one question we're taking a poll on.
Oh.
A little competition with me and my co-host who's not here right now.
Ooh.
You meet a guy, he texts you,
Mm-hmm.
and the bubble's green.
Ugh.
What's your first impression?
Grossed out that he has an Android.
I just,
You're on my team.
Yeah.
I can't. Like,
Yeah, you're like, is this a scammer?
no,
I'm
I
literally just like, ugh. You don't
No,
have an iPhone?
You're like, you're
I
gonna
can't
make me
FaceTime you.
download
I
some
can't,
third world
Yeah,
app so I can
I
video
know.
phone
WhatsApp
you?
or something.
no, I
WhatsApp.
was just like, who are you? I mean, if it would be like a foreign person, but even then, like, no.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
like, grow up, you know?
Yeah.
Become an adult, get a real phone, you know?
Yeah, the
So-
Android's an ick for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They send you a video, you're like, is this a party or is this World War II footage? I can't
It's
tell.
so
It's like the
weird.
same.
Why the Androids are so weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Any social media shout outs you guys want to give?
Instagram, I'm at CourtLove. Same with TikTok, is at CourtLove.
Awesome.
Card love. Nice. Inessa Bonet. INESSABONET.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to do round 2 sometime. This has been fun.
That's been
Yay.
fun.
Thanks for listening.